Everybody, welcome back. It's the Candy Camper, and this is the Candy Camper's theme park thoughts. And today we got the legend OG 55, Orange Grove 55. He's over here somewhere. He's joined us today on a very, very special episode. This is episode number 8. This is the final, well, there's a few other members, but it's the final main boss of the Orange Grove 55 crew. We got him today. He's hard to get, so make sure you keep an eye on this video. Give it a watch. But OG, what up, dude? Finally got
What's
you
up?
on.
Yeah, Candy, thank you for having me on. Congrats on the new channel. Loving what you're doing over here. You're growing fast, and keep it up, brother.
Thank you. Tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Orange Grove 55. We do a lot of podcast style conversations about theme parks, studio, even the financial side. We talk like quarterly earnings calls, all that good stuff. So for all things Disney and Universal, check us out, Orange Grove 55.
Awesome. Love it. And we'll put all his links down below, and then we'll put the rest of the Orange Grove crew down there too. So today's topic, sir, is going to be what non-IP ride would you put an IP on? Yeah, that was a tongue twister. So for instance, you know how they keep changing around some of these rides, and they'll all of a sudden throw a little bit of Coco in there or whatever the hell they're doing, or throw a little bit of Cars Land into a river for some reason. That's what we're going to do. And this is all imaginative. Damn, that's another big word. So whatever your mind could think of, if you think that there's something just crazy that you want to put in there, or just automatically change the theme of something completely and put something new there, I'm all for it. This is the best thing about this podcast is that it literally says in the name, thoughts. So whatever you can think about, whatever you want to come up with, you're more than welcome to say. This is also a free space too, so anybody has their opinions, go ahead and leave your comments below if you agree with us, and if you disagree, tell us what you think. And
Absolutely.
if you want to be cool and you want to talk all that mess, come on the channel. I'm okay with that.
Absolutely.
So,
let's go.
All right, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I can't wait to talk about this because yeah, there's a lot of potential here with some of this stuff, and I think Disney's really big on IP right now. Obviously, they're trying to compete with Universal. Universal's bringing out the big guns with like Super Mario, stuff like that. So I think we live in an IP world, and you know, so I think anything that's non-IP right now is on the table for sure.
And I agree with that. And I used to be like anti-IP. I'm like, don't touch my shit. Like, don't do it. And then now that I'm kind of seeing more and more and more, I'm like, you know what? I kind of do want something like that. As long as you're not veering away from something too big and you're not taking away from certain rides. And you're going to see, I didn't make a full list, but there's certain rides I did not leave on, or I did not put on here for a reason, because you can't touch them. And I'll just put them out there in the world. You might put yours on there, but my two it's going to be Haunted Mansion, and also it's going to be Pirates. I feel like you can't overlay Pirates. It's already its own thing. I consider that to have its own IP technically. And then Haunted Mansion, I know they do the overlays in Disneyland, and I actually love the overlays, but at the same time, I feel like it does take away a lot from those guests that don't get to go to California or to Disney as much. Where Disney World, they don't do the layover because that's an international park. Like if you do that, people can only go there once in a lifetime sometimes, and they get to go and don't get to see the original or what they want. So I don't agree with changing some of those. And once again, that's also Walt's original vision of what he kind of wanted. So I wouldn't touch those. But if you think differently, I'm all yours.
No, I completely agree with you. And this is where the threading of the needle kind of comes in, right? Where it's like Disney is in a really kind of hard spot, right? Because they have to continue to evolve. Because that's kind of been the mission statement since the beginning. Really, with Walt Disney, it's never going to be completed. So you want to evolve, you want to have new things, you want change, right? At the same time, though, there are things like Pirates, which I agree with you 100%, and Haunted Mansion, which I also agree with you, that are kind of untouchable. Like you don't want to retheme those two. Now, I'm not necessarily opposed to plussing them, adding new technology, and letting those attractions sort of come into the new age as we get new tech. That's cool. But like in terms of like retheming it to something totally different, no way. You can't do it. You can't touch those.
Yeah, and a light theme like they do with the Haunted Mansion, it works enough, but it works for 3 months, 4 months.
Right.
And I think that's the big difference. And they don't go over. They kind of do go over the top, but not to the point where you're changing what it's still a Haunted Mansion when you go in there, and you still get to see all the original stuff. They're not taking things out, they're just adding to it. And that's the same thing. I agree. Like if Disney was like, hey, you know what, we're gonna scrap all these original animatronics in Pirates, and put all brand new T1000 fucking Terminators in there, I think that would be cool. Like, I would be okay with that as long as you still keep the same aesthetic and you make it look more old. And that's kind of what Webb and I talked about the other day, how they put the chick in there and she doesn't match anything. Like, she just looks like a sore thumb, sitting out there in the middle of nowhere. But
yeah, well, it's interesting, and I don't want to get too far off topic, but we talked a little bit about last night on the live show on my channel last night, where I wonder how AI is going to come into all this, right? With like the animatronics, are they going to start using AI where these animatronics can kind of like, you can program them or whatever, like feed them like pirate personalities, and then
cool.
they just kind of go on their own for a little while. Like they just kind of talk to guests going by, and it's an AI, so it's constantly learning and constantly. I mean, kind of crazy, but that's not too far off,
You know what's fucked up though is how long will it take for them to start talking to each other, and then just forget about the guests and be like, oh, here comes these fuckers again.
Yeah.
Around they go.
Yeah, exactly. Pass me rum, that kind of thing. I mean, that's crazy, to think about, because AI is going to change everything. It's going to change parks. It's going to change movies, all that stuff. So I'm very curious how deep they go down that rabbit hole.
And I think they will. I think a lot of future technology. See, the thing is cool though, like most of the new technology that we have been getting from Disney, it's revolutionary, but it's not over the top to the point where you're like, dude, why, like, who, like, what the fuck? Like Cosmic Rewind, beautiful ride. Technology in that was fucking insane, but it didn't stretch a boundary. Like they stayed within the lanes of like, if we can't go this far, that would be too far right now in this era.
Right.
And I think they're tiptoeing on that. But also Epic Universe, brand new theme park. They didn't step out of a boundary either. They still kept it classic. They gave us a killer dark ride, but they still kept it within a certain realm. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They did. Epic Universe is look, here's the thing. When you open a new park, it's typically going to be kind of bare bones a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like Epic Universe is a like hit the ground running kind of park, where it's as full as you can possibly get for a new park, and for a first kind of foundation, like this is a hell of a start. I mean, because it's really only up from here. Now they're going to add more stuff to it, and it's off to a really, really strong start. People love it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's going to continue to be a fan favorite for years.
I agree.
Years to come.
I agree, and I got a little bit of shit for it because I said that How to Train Your Dragon was going to be my favorite land, and everyone was like, "Oh man, why are they putting that one in there?" And I'm like, dude, have you not seen them? They're so good. And then now every time I hear someone come out of there, like that land is one of the best lands in the park. And
absolutely.
I've been hearing that about all of it, even the Mario, which has just been repeated over and over again, and it's built up instead of out, which is strange to me. But no, I'm really excited. I'm going to get there at one of these days, and I hope this really lights a fire under Disney's ass to really showcase what they can do, and also with all these different expansions that's doing. You gotta put it into motion now. You can't give us another Tron. You can't make us wait 10 years to get a ride. You just can't, because guess what's going to happen? Like you just mentioned, Epic Universe is going to have 4 or 5 more expansions, and they work really fast because that's just going to pull more guests from Disney, and then it's going to end up becoming 3 days, because that's 3 parks, dude. So what most people average can go for a week at the like 5 days to 7 days. So what am I going to do? I'm going to split up 4 days at Disneyland or Disney World, and then 2 over there. No, there's 3 parks now. So what park's going to get the cut? To me, it's Hollywood. Sorry, Hollywood, you have nothing for me. So now I'm going to end up going to Universal for 3 days and Disney for 2.
Well, and that's not a bad move. Out of all the parks, while Hollywood was better than I thought it was going to be, I would still, with the current roster of parks, that's definitely the one I would cut from the team, because Animal Kingdom actually was one of my favorites, because I'm a vibe guy. I love the vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, anywhere you go, anywhere you sit in that park, there's something to fucking look at.
Oh, yeah.
And it's beautiful, and you full immersion there. And this is what happens on this channel, by the way. We're just getting way far off fucking topic, but yeah, Animal Kingdom is beautiful. I wish we would have that here, but there's no way. That's never going to be replicated anywhere in the world. Ever.
No way.
They can't. So let's kick it off. I'm gonna let you go first, because that's what I kind of do on this channel.
Sure.
What is your first ride that you would go with, and what would you retheme it as?
Okay, yeah. So I think right now the elephant in the room for Disneyland is Tomorrowland. Is definitely Tomorrowland. Now, what I would like to see. Now, this is basically all hinging on how good the movie does, right? Fantastic Four. It looks pretty cool, but is it gonna do banger numbers? We don't know, right? Marvel's been right. So,
These
but
trailers
this
are horrible, dude. They're cringy. They're so cringy. The trailers are so cringy.
it's rough. It's rough. So it's like, how is it gonna do? I don't know. So, but that aesthetic and that what the direction they're going with that film, that retro future, that 1960s version of the future is perfect for Tomorrowland. That's exactly the direction I want to see it going. So I don't want to see it turn into maybe all Fantastic Four, but I wouldn't mind seeing a retheme of at least part, like a good chunk of the land dedicated to that franchise. Maybe like a big E-ticket dedicated to that. I think it just aesthetically and everything, that's the direction they should go in with Tomorrowland. And look, I get it. We have Marvel and DCA, but the Marvel and DCA is kind of weak, right? I mean, let's be honest. So, and also too, I mean, Disney has had a history of sort of repeating IPs in both parks. You have Toy Story in Disneyland and DCA. So there's no rule against having Marvel in Disneyland as well. So yeah, I would go Fantastic Four in a big way for Tomorrowland. That's my number one.
You know, and the other side of it too is that I think Marvel is kind of the only thing you can really throw around because they're all different planets. They're all from different places. You can put it wherever you want to put it, and it'll somehow correlate to DCA or the other side. And that's why I think it kind of a little bit gives me a little bit of that I don't like with the not Avengers, with Guardians of the Galaxy being in both parks. I think that should have stayed in one space or one spot. But at the same time, the Tower Terror or the Mission Breakout's really not there. That's the Collector's Fortress. So you can kind of get away with the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of being wherever they want. The weird thing is, as an Epcot, that one's still strange to me, but I get where they put it makes kind of sense for the ride. It just theming wise, it's just in a weird ass spot.
They tried to kind of finesse that into Epcot, and there's a little bit of a backstory there to sort of go in that like kind of like that kind of like informative educational kind of vibe, but also having the Guardians. But yeah, I see what you're saying though. It was kind of a little bit of a shoehorn, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, I kind of went with the same thing with the Marvel stuff too, especially seeing Fantastic Four coming out. And I hope it does well. It just makes perfect sense. And if you were to do that and take over Space Mountain, it can totally work. I mean, what if you go in there and you're trying to help, almost kind of like Cosmic Rewind, but you're trying to help save something, or you accidentally steal something, and you're getting chased now by Nova or by whoever, some galaxy fucker trying to get your ship back. You can do all this explosions. You can have all those screens in there going off. You can I don't know. There's just so much you can do with Space Mountain, and it doesn't have to be Toy Story. I hear that one a lot. Like, let's make a Toy Story. Let's redo it here. Like, it could work. Toy Story will work there, but then that gets into the area of like how much Toy Story are we actually going to put in the park, because technically you can run Toy Story over a few different rides too, which we'll get into later on. So I agree with you. I think Fantastic Four would be the best thing to kind of retrofit into that area. I don't think that's going to save Tomorrowland at all. I think Tomorrowland still needs a really big like push forward. I do think we should get rid of Star Tours, and you can even make that like the one they're making overseas with the with Iron Man if you wanted to.
You
can use Marvel multiple times in the area.
Absolutely. You can even retheme Star Tours to like Wreck-It Ralph or something like that. It's digital kind of something different. I feel ever since we have Smuggler's Run and like, you know, Batu and all that, I feel like it's kind of weird now to have like the separate Star Wars thing over in Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
And Rex was like the best part of that ride, and he's not even in there anymore. Now he's DJing over at the bar, you know. So for me, it's like the best part already left, you know. And we're getting a new Smuggler's Run with all new, like not all new, but the Unreal Engine, like the next version of that.
Yeah.
For Mando and Grogu. So I'm assuming they're going to ramp up the different adventures. So one of the key selling points for Star Tours was like that you can randomize these adventures and go on different, you know, little missions. But if they're going to start doing that over there at Smuggler's Run, then there's really no need to have Star Tours anymore.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think Star Tours is just holding on because they need the capacity. You know, less rides, less capacity within the parks. So keeping that until they actually figure out what they're going to do with Tomorrowland. The thing is with Tomorrowland is that it's pushed out so far now because there's Coco coming. There's that whole Disneyland Forward stuff. So how many more years are we gonna have to wait to get anything there? And at what point do you just get rid of Tomorrowland completely and call it something else like they do overseas? I think it's about time. Give us what they call the one in Paris,
Discoveryland.
Yeah, give us Discoveryland. You don't have to. You can stick to whatever you want to stick to at that point. And then all you need to keep is Space Mountain and retheme it, or make it just upgraded. And I honestly, going back to it, I think people would have been okay taking Tomorrowland and just making that whole Tomorrowland Star Wars. I think that would have been fine. And they fucked up and wanted to spend a shitload of money for 2 rides, a ride and a half technically, and waste of space. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, we got 14 acres back there, and it's interesting because they actually went in a different direction with Batu than I was expecting. So when they announced it was going to go behind the Rivers of America, I was like, that's weird, When I would think about that, I'm like, that's weird to have a Star Wars land back there, because my version of Star Wars in my head for the theme parks was like Star Tours, like spaceport style aesthetics. Correct. So I'm like, how's that going to work behind the Rivers of America? And then they went with this kind of like more natural planetary, like the rocks and the petrified tree thing. So I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of get that now. It's kind of natural looking where it kind of vibes with the river and stuff. But yeah, it is interesting. They spent $1 billion on that thing, 14 acres. But there's very little kinetic energy in there. They just put all the new Star Wars stuff. They promote it through Star Tours. They don't really use Galaxy's Edge. I mean, a little bit now. They're getting a little better with it. And then they pigeonhole themselves in that timeline with the sequels.
Yeah, my biggest complaint to me was the fact that they have a bar that they knew was going to get packed, and they put like 20 chairs in there. Like, why wouldn't you make it fucking huge? Everybody wants to go there. Make a big ass bar, let people come in. And then on top of that, you have the rides spread out so far and there's nothing in between. You have a couple of little shops and then a little bit of food, and you're just walking all the way across. And I don't know. I just feel like it was a waste of time and a waste of space. And I told this to George, if they would have gave us half the land, like keep the left side, if you're facing, keep the left side where what's one ride? I can't remember right now.
Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, thank you. Where Rise is, keep that, keep the bar, and keep one of the food restaurants. The rest of that could have been New Tomorrowland. Would have been fine. I'm from top.
Yeah, they got to figure something out. They got to figure something out.
New Fantasyland, excuse me.
New Fantasyland. Yeah, well, Fantasyland's interesting too because that's where all the $1 billion IPs are at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like all those princess movies are like just bangers. Well, except for Wish, that didn't do well, but a lot of them, a lot of them are.
You're like, hey, time out. Fuck you, Wish. I don't know who the princess is in that. I couldn't do it. I had to turn it off.
Wow, I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, nope. Nah, the kids liked it, and I was like, yeah, okay. You guys.
Wow.
My kids also like Turning Red, and I thought that movie was horrible.
Oh, I hated Turning Red. I thought it was the first like 15 or 20 minutes of it was like a sugar high. It was like it was just way too much caffeine. It was like they were screaming and yelling and going way too fast. I'm like, can we slow down a little bit? This is like a trip, And
then it slowed down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, this is boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good off that. So yeah, I agree with you on that. I think they need to get rid of a lot of other things. I wouldn't change other stuff there. I would get rid of it in Tomorrowland. So like Nemo, I was trying to think of like what would I change that to. I'm cool getting rid of it, just keeping the water, but putting something in the water or around the water. And then Autopia, get the fuck out of here. You waste of space.
Oh, dude, it's a waste of space.
Fucking come on. Fuck you, Honda.
Well, and here's the thing. It's like it's very much a like a boomer era sort of ride. Yeah. It's old fashioned as hell. I don't care if they're electric cars. Even electric cars aren't the future anymore. I mean, they're normal, especially out here in California, dude. Everyone's got electric cars out here.
Yeah.
It's today, it's not the future at all. But the thing with Autopia is like people will make the argument like, oh, well, when you're a little kid, you want to drive. It's like, yeah, but they can go pilot the Millennium Falcon, dude. Like, we have other attractions now that like, are way cooler for a kid, and kids are more sophisticated now. They expect more. There's not like a kid from 1960, They expect better technology. So I think Autopia could absolutely go. At the very least, can we at least trim it down? I mean, it takes like a bajillion acres. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and if you really wanted to keep that track and do something with it and make it so that you're not driving or make them go a little faster, you can do like a Zootopia or something back there, like a chase, and
Oh, that'd
just
be cool.
make them go through different scenes. There's a lot of things you can do back there, but I'd rather see it get wasted and become a big ass land. You can put villains over there. Like you could put a smaller version of villains all on that whole backside, call it a fucking day.
You could, yeah, because yeah, you basically, and they're gonna have to do this eventually, right? They're gonna have to address that, like the spaghetti bowl monorail stuff, right? So they're gonna have to reroute that. So if you reroute that, you have all that open land. You got motorboat area and the massive Autopia that you can mess with. And if you really want to get ambitious, you can even take away Submarine Voyage, and you can put a nice little villains land over there, and that ties and segues perfectly into Fantasyland. So
yep,
yeah,
I agree. Cool. Let's move over to the other side. If you were to change around Jungle Cruise, you got anything for that?
Jungle Cruise is interesting. I would do, if I were to do anything for Jungle Cruise, I would say Jungle Book would be my choice. I love that IP. And look, people will tell you, well, I don't know, OG, it's kind of an old IP. Do people care about it? The movie that Jon Favreau did, the live action one, that was just, well, it's 9 years ago now. I think it was in 2016. It crossed $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like, people love that franchise. So, and honestly, you wouldn't even have to really do much to that ride. You can just kind of put the characters here and there, and you're good to go. So
I feel like you're reading my notes. I put
like,
Jungle Book, literal ride through, no story, just update characters.
There we go, exactly. And you can still make the jokes and everything. The skippers can still make the jokes.
Yeah.
They could say like, hey, they could point at a guest and be like, hey, are you sad? And they're like, no, why? Because you look a little Baloo.
See, that would work perfectly, and you get to put the name on there and call it a day, and people would still write it.
Exactly.
So I was reading some stuff, and I ran across Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, interesting.
Or Jungle Cruise. Yeah, and it says basically said you get lost in the jungle, and you have to get back to his palace in time for like a party, but Yzma doesn't want you to make it to the party, so she sets up a whole bunch of booby traps around the jungle, and Gronk is trying to catch you, all while the cast member is navigating you and Cusco through the jungle, and they're still telling jokes but trying to make light of the situation. So
and that's a perfect franchise to have the jokes involved, because that was a very funny movie.
Yeah, and I feel like it's so underrated, but it was not as underrated as people think, because they came out with multiple movies and multiple Disney shows.
Sure.
So I think it would do great. And then the last one I had here was Encanto. Just a perfect setting for it. I think that you can go on some kind of mission or trying to find some kind of magical something that they would need, like a rock or a flower or just something they would need. And then they can bring the boy. What's the boy's name? The one that has the gift to talk to animals.
Oh, is it Antonio?
Antonio. Yeah, you can bring Antonio, and he could talk to some of the animals to try to figure out like which way to go and all that. And meanwhile, you'd have to find out why the skipper's there. So maybe the skipper could be part of like the family or something, and they're trying to take you down the river and trying to find it. But there's a lot you can do with Jungle Cruise without putting the fucking rock in it.
Yeah. Not the rock. No way.
Not the rock. Yeah, so there's something else that we kind of talked about before the show started, and you mentioned it, I believe, on your podcast, and I thought I came up with the best idea ever created, but I guess not. Other people were thinking it, which means it's a good idea.
Absolutely.
The Matterhorn. So, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, the Matterhorn is something that, look, the Matterhorn has had a lot of technical problems for many, many years. And I know a lot of Disney diehard fans are going to be like, no, don't touch it. And I think most fans would probably agree with that, right? Like the diehards. But here's the thing. If there comes a day where Disney has to really go in there and gut that thing and really rebuild it from the inside, if they're going to go in there and spend all that money, they're probably going to think like, well, if we're going to spend all this money, we have to make it worth it. How do you make it worth it? You put an IP. What IP do you choose? Go ahead. I'll let you.
Frozen.
Yeah.
I hate Frozen with the passion. I'm so over Frozen. I don't want it. but it makes fucking sense. And guess I'll keep it over breaking my neck, over having to wear a mouth guard, over having to wear like a fucking preparation H in my ass because I'm about to get fucking hemorrhoids on that ride. Like I'm okay with Frozen as long as you get me a new track and just that new track, a new train. That's all I want. I don't care what it is anymore. It's a fun ride. It's just not as enjoyable as it was when I was a kid, and it's getting rougher and rougher. And this is where the nostalgia comes in because this is one of the first steel tube roller coasters in the world. So
Yeah.
it plays a big role in that. But guess what you can do? Rip it out, just like they did with the bobsled stuff, and where the little they made a little shrine. Put the fucking track in the shrine. It's still there. Give us newer technology on this ride. Make it better. Use real brakes. Be able to send more cars down the mountain. But making it frozen, I think it could definitely work. I read something else about it too, where they would take Elsa's powers. I read that, and then I was kind of thinking of just making it a bobsled ride in general. So basically, just going up there and you're messing around with Olaf, and he accidentally pushes you down the mountain, and you go down the bobsled. So that
Oh,
was
that's
kind of
cool.
that's kind of my thoughts. And then as you go down, you run through past some marshmallows and just different things instead of a Yeti.
Well, and the cool thing too is if you have the frozen ride and then you have a frozen land where like Autopia is and all that stuff,
Uh-huh.
it would be kind of dope when you're in the frozen land. Matterhorn makes like the perfect backdrop for the frozen land. It will kind of loom
Yeah,
over that area and really add a lot to just an overall frozen themed area. I think it'd be kind of cool. And you can do, like you said, you can do a frozen ride in the Matterhorn, and then you can also make maybe like another smaller frozen attraction on the other side of the land or something like that. But here's the
yeah,
thing: Frozen is a big franchise. We already have 2 movies, third one's on the way, and I think a fourth one as well. So
yeah.
Disney's like all chips in on this franchise. So it wouldn't shock me if they went in that direction with this. So
Yeah, and we also mentioned putting an ice bridge. So taking the ice bridge, going from the Matterhorn, going over the walk path, and then bringing it to where half Autopia is. I wouldn't say to make it a huge land. I would think you would just take a little bit of that corner, and that meets up to like where the chimichanga cart is.
yeah.
So like having that whole little section of it where people don't even walk anyways, because there's that whole back part where you can do the Moana meet and all them. Like you can make all that Arendelle, and they'll butt up right to the water to the other boats on the backside, and you'd be fine with Small World.
Nice. Yeah.
And then you would have all the rest of that other stuff to either put. I mean, you still have Nemo. You can use that still for Tomorrowland or more. Fuck, you can even you can extend the castle out. You know how they did in Disney World, how they made the new Fantasyland, where they made part of the castle kind of like spread across. You can do that as a barrier and just go straight down all the way to Nemo. So that way it kind of locks you out.
It separates
Um,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
separates it better. So I don't know. I think that could be a big future for that. I think they really do. I think it's time. And I did think that Matterhorn wasn't untouchable for a long time, but it's not anymore, and I don't think it's as untouchable as Pirates or Haunted Mansion. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think it's as untouchable as those other 2 attractions either. And I think that the fact that this attraction is having so many tech issues and has for so many years,
Yeah,
there might be a day where they have to really go in there. And if they're really going to go in there, they might opt for an IP. They want more return on their investment. And how do you do
yeah,
that? You make it frozen. You make it some other IP. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And don't get me wrong, it's so iconic. They're never gonna remove it. It will be there
No.
forever.
Yeah, the
Because
mount will be there, even if they
yeah.
retheme it.
But I mean, out of your whole time doing this and being in the community, have you ever heard anybody say that that's their favorite ride, Disneyland?
Oh man, no, actually, I haven't. Most of the time when Matterhorn is spoken about in the community is as a joke. Like
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it's basically like a chiropractor visit. Like
yeah,
it'll either break your
yeah,
back or fix your back, kind of stuff, right?
yeah. So bad. But the thing is, like, you have to write it. Like, that's the fucked up part. And it's a what each e-ticket too. So it's kind of like, what the fuck you doing? And
Right.
half the time it's not even open when I go. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
Oh yeah, it
moving
goes
on.
down for like a lot of times, like every year it goes down for like a couple months or something.
Yeah,
It feel like it's down so often.
no water in it. It's just weird. Um, yeah, I feel like that's just one of those rides that can go. But this one to me has a lot of potential. This next ride I'm going to talk about has a lot of potential, and I think the obvious is going to be stated. But I also went off and did some research and saw, like, I do that. I kind of see what other people think too, and I found one that really intrigued me, and I was like, holy fuck, that would be so awesome. But I know they would never in their lifetime do this. But first off, it's gonna be Big Thunder Mountain.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
so shocked that that thing has not been touched for years. Like, I can't believe that someone didn't go and Disneyfy the fuck out of that, because that is such an easy one that people are still attached to. It is people's favorite ride, but I think it's one of those where it's okay. You change. I don't think it doesn't have a big of an impact changing that ride than it did to Tiana. Like, there's a big difference. You don't go around singing the theme song to Thunder Mountain. All you say is the wildest ride in the wilderness. If you leave that, you are good.
Right. And you can turn that into like a Spanish, like if you made it Spanish theme, like a Coco thing.
Yep.
It would still fit that Frontierland.
Exactly. Well, look what's right next to it. You have the Mexican restaurant.
Right. The Zorro.
Yeah, Zocalo.
Yep.
And they do cocoa right there. They have that little cocoa tree and everything, and it fucking fits so well. It feels like that old Spanish town.
Yeah.
The thing about this ride, though, and this is what it is. It's Toy Story, and people are going to be like, "Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense," because it does. Putting him in there, you're on a runaway explosive minecart train trying to get away from fucking Prospect Peak. Too easy.
Exactly.
Too easy to do. And you get to keep everything the same, make it a little more explosions. You'll have Woody pop up out of, hey, partner, go that way. Hurry up. They're going to get you. Like, it'll be so cheap and cheesy for them to do that. And that's what would happen. I don't think we would get a full retheme. I think we would get the DCA treatment where, hey, Jack, cookie, num. That's exactly what we're going to get.
Yeah.
What?
And you can just sprinkle that in a little bit. Like, it's kind of like San Francisco, for example, right? Yeah. Where it's like, San Francisco is a hybrid between San Francisco and Tokyo. Well, you already had the Bay Area there with the Pacific Wharf. You already had 50% of that equation. Now all you have to do is add some Tokyo in there, and you got San Francisco. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they did.
Fucking awesome. That was creative to me. Like, I thought that was so creative, and not only that was creative, they just went for it. They said, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to do this. And they did it. Because, I mean, I love that movie. I don't feel like other people have it on their playlist or like, hey, I'm going on an island, I'm bringing that fucking movie with me. But if it's on, you'll watch it every single time. So
and great characters too.
Oh, yeah. Sad movie. And they're Marvel, right? Aren't they technically Marvel?
Yeah, it's Marvel character.
So, interesting. But this is the one that I read online. National Treasure.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So it says treasure hunting through booby-trapped gold mines with Benjamin Gates, trying to uncover the secrets tied to the American Wild West.
That's wild.
Yeah, and while doing that, you learn history and stuff like that. He'll probably shout out shit. Oh, this was 1982, and we gotta fucking go here. I thought that was so cool. I love those movies. National Treasure was great. I hate that they came out with that Disney Plus version and didn't put Nicolas Cage in there. Just can't do that. You can't do that. But what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that could work? I know they wouldn't do it, but do you think it could work?
Oh, I think it could work. Absolutely could work based on the theme and everything. That kind of like treasure hunt kind of vibe. You could even do, and this would be kind of interesting too, in the same kind of vein, but a different kind of energy.
Vein, get it?
There it is. You could even do DuckTales. Like Scrooge and the boys are on a hunt for like some treasure in the West, and it's because those stories, the DuckTales stories, they traveled the world in all those things, so you can even do that, so I can see that angle, whether it be National Treasure or DuckTales, where it's like you use the mountain as your theme, but you have that IP kind of tell you that story,
Yeah, I think that people, like I said earlier, people wouldn't mind if you change that at all, but it has to be done correctly, and the situation of how that ride is set, I think that's also a difficult thing, because you come out of like Louisiana kind of, and you're now looking over and you can see Big Thunder Mountain. So that sight line is always there. So if you change it, you have to make sure that you're not putting that IP all plastered on the front of it. And if you do, it has to be very subtle.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree.
Um, any other rides you would go for that you can think of?
Oh, it's a tough one. Well, we can tackle Tom Sawyer Island. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of our river because I think that our river is way too monetized out here in California. Like,
Yes.
Fantasmic is on that river, and all those dessert and dining packages. There's no way Disney's going to end that gravy train. So
Yeah.
I think we're good with it. I think it's going to be the Rivers of America, but I could see them retheming Tom Sawyer Island to something. They already did once. They turned it into that Pirate Cove or whatever they called
Yeah,
it,
which I
right?
like. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. I wouldn't mind them revisiting that and kind of going a little harder on it. That would be kind of cool, you know?
So, what's your thoughts on the back half? So, taking where the dry dock is, leave the dry docks obviously because you need them, and then I know that for the show they go all the way around, right? The
Yeah.
boats. So you would have to somehow make it double dock. So they would dry dock on one side and then keep the boats on the other side, or they can have them on a track and have them reverse back into the other side, something like that. But I say you take that whole back half and just make it a land, or you have some kind of bridge to walk over, or some kind of walk path, or even taking a taking. So the thing is with taking the rafts, it takes way too long. There's not enough people. Like it just doesn't work out for if you wanted to put something on that island. The thing is too, how big do you know the square footage of that island?
I don't. If I were to eyeball it though, it's not that big. It's probably like
Okay.
maybe 5 acres, 6 acres
Okay.
at
So
most, probably.
you would have to block off the back, take the water out, and then literally level it and make it a new land. Which that's a lot of space. I'm gonna pull up the map again. Like look at that. So where the boat is docked now, we'll say the tip of the boat, you go straight across where the number 25 on Big Thunder at that angle, dude, you have all that water space that you can mess around with.
That's
This is an older
wild.
this is an older map too, by the way. This doesn't have Galaxy's Edge on there.
Yeah.
But I mean still, like that's a lot of land.
It's
You
a
could
huge amount
really
of land.
you can develop a lot. And at that point, is that where our villains would go?
That's a possibility. Yeah, you could do that because then you can kind of tie it into. It's a similar situation actually as Magic Kingdom
Yep.
because you're not too far from Fantasyland. Well, you got Galaxy's Edge though, but I mean, there's
Yeah.
no rule though that you have to necessarily connect the two. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and how I mean Galaxy's Edge is pretty tall too, so it wouldn't be too much of a sight line. I
yeah,
wouldn't you wouldn't think. I still like the idea of having villains out on the far right, like over where Matterhorn is. I think that would
yeah,
be
me
a
too.
great spot. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think you can do that. So what would you put there if you were not to put villains? If you were to use that whole backside of Tom Sawyer,
Ooh, that's tough. So villains is a great idea.
would you ever think about expanding Frontierland, or would you go completely something brand new?
I think something brand new. I think Disney is not fully on board with the Frontierland thing right now. I would go for like a Spanish area, like really like maybe have it similar to Frontierland where it kind of bleeds in, but like have it really go all in on the Spanish stuff and have a maybe have a well, you don't want to do a Coco ride because we have it coming to DCA, but maybe you can do in like Three Caballeros, maybe, you know, I would say Encanto, but I think that takes place in Colombia and that's more of
Yeah,
jungle, right?
yeah. Hmm.
So maybe like a Three Caballeros ride would be dope, you know, something like that. But like a Spanish area would be a lot of fun. And like out here
Yeah.
in California, like, you know, the demographic out here, I think would really eat that up. I think it'd be a good choice for them.
Yeah, and that's something George and I talked about the other day. Is like, how the fuck are you taking you this long to put Coco in, and why are you not giving us more food options? Like, I don't want to have to Rancho be the only place I can go get a really. And I eat a lot of Mexican food, and that place is really fucking good. Like, it is really good. It's impressive for what it is in theme park food. Um, but it's always a madhouse there. So the last couple times I haven't been able to eat there because it's like the only spot. Um,
It's always crazy
Spanish.
in there, you know, but
Yeah.
for theme park Mexican food, yeah, I agree with you. It's
It's
pretty
pretty it's
solid.
pretty good. Um, I don't think I can go Spanish town. I'm thinking more mini lands because I feel like Disney is kind of on that. Oh, we're gonna make mini land here, mini land there, and like you're gonna have four lands here, and they'll all connect to each other. The downfall with that is that you're nowhere near Fantasyland anymore. So it would have to somehow be Critter Country or whatever they call it, backside of the bayou. What was it called now? Bayou back end.
Bayou Country.
Bayou Country. Yeah, there you go.
Bayou Country. I drew a blank for that.
So what if you give us another ride? What if you give us another Bayou ride on the little corner there, and then you still have that whole other side to give us another Frontierland or something in Frontierland? I
Dude,
don't know. There's just a lot to mess with.
yeah, there is. Now this would be really cool. Like a Kermit the Frog swamp ride would be dope.
I think that this is something George and I talked about too. Like, just Disney's not ready to let go of that franchise.
No.
But they need to do better at marketing it. I know they keep coming out with movies on Disney Plus and stuff, but they're not pushing it well. Because I was telling him that I thought the Haunted Mansion one that they came out with was brilliant. It was fucking funny. It was one of the funniest Disney Plus shows I've seen in a long time, and the characters worked really well. Even the rock and roll one they did, I thought the storyline was great, and it worked very well. But who else watched it? I mean, who, like, not the normal Disney person didn't. My kids didn't even care for it. So who are you marketing this to? But Kermit the Frog is a household name still. But thing is, do you think Kermit the Frog can outweigh a shitty Winnie the Pooh ride?
Oh,
I think a shitty Winnie the Pooh ride still beats out a really well done Kermit ride.
Well, yeah, for the normies probably, because I think Winnie the Pooh moves more merchandise for sure.
A lot more merchandise.
The Pooh, from what I heard from like a few years ago, like he rivals Mickey Mouse. Like his merch power is crazy.
You know, and that ride gets so much shit, and it kind of deserves it. But I love that entryway, that cute little creek that runs in. It's just fucking beautiful. That's one of my favorite little queues. It's just like a mini beautiful queue. I'll sit there and just look. I'll stand on the bridge and just watch the water go down. It's a lot of fun. That whole little critter country is fun in general. It just has that weird smell to it, and it's like dark and enclosed, especially at night. That's probably one of my favorite lands to be in at night. When you get off Splash Mountain, when it's Splash Mountain and you're all soaked and you're like, where the fuck am I, dude? And you try to go left, but you can't go left because there's nothing there. Unless you want to go and get a tiger tail or whatever it is.
You're right though. It's super charming and back there with the little creek and all that. And then at night, it really just it's classic Disney with like the little like the little lanterns and stuff, man. I just love that vibe.
It's a good feeling there. And you don't. I wish people a lot of people understand, I guess, if you're like really hardcore Disney fans, you understand the vibe, and not every land has that. Like there's something about, and it's the weirdest thing to say, but I think you might agree with me. You get a different vibe throughout the day in different areas. At night is my I will give up 10 hours of daylight to be in Disneyland Park for 1 hour at night, because there's just something magical about being there at night, especially when everything's clearing up and you get on, like, say you get on Smuggler's Run, or not Smuggler's Run, Rise of Resistance, and it's like the last ride of the day, and you're all the way in the back of the park, and the park's almost cleared out because you already waited in line for like an hour to get on, and you just walk back, and there's just the music's still playing, there's no one around, you just get your like this place to yourself. It just feels different. But Critter Country is one of probably my favorite place at night. Same with the backside of Frontierland. I used to remember walking back there back in the day before they changed it all up. That was always really fun, kind of creepy.
It is. Actually, another one of my favorite areas at night is Main Street with all the popcorn lighting and the signage, man, and that music. It's such a cool little vibe on Main Street, dude. I love it.
And you don't feel that anywhere else. And that's once again coming down to the Disney magic. And people will never understand if you haven't gone, like, every little thing down to the detail of music, the smell, it adds to your experience, and that's what makes it great. Same thing with dude, fucking Adventureland too. Adventureland at night, right when you walk in underneath the sign that has the fucking torches going.
Oh man,
dude, so cool.
Well, and actually oh hell yeah, and Toontown is great at night, especially after the remodel. And here's the thing that I wish they would do in Toontown. We have a lot of projection mapping technology now. Projection map the crap out of Toontown. You could have, like, at night, you can projection map like on the hills and make it look like the grass is moving or like whatever. You can do all kinds of stuff on that huge backdrop, man. You can have animated birds, you know, the whole thing.
That's such a good idea. Speaking of animated birds, would you touch the Tiki Room?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. I mean,
you're about to hurt some feelings right now.
Yeah, oh man, that's tough. I personally wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't. I mean, if Disney was like, hey, but we got to, what IP would go in there? I'm not really sure. That's tough.
I know I want to get into this on another video, we'll wait till another video. But let me ask you this: upgrading the birds and the animatronics in there, keeping the same exact storyline, same exact singing, everything the same, but upgrading all the birds and everything.
I think that's great. I love that. I think you need to do that. I think when you have classic attractions like Pirates, Haunted, Tiki Room, you don't want people to walk in there and go, "Wow, this show is really from the 60s, huh?" Like you want the show to like live on and stay relevant for like younger generations. So updating the AAs is an absolute must. The sound quality, all that stuff, man. I'm all for that. So if they want to go in there and update stuff like that, that's cool. But when they add like Stitch and shit like that, that's when I'm kind of like, oh God, really? Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. And that's the stuff I don't like either because it doesn't make sense to me. I'm okay with Tiki Room. I love the Tiki Room. It's one of those where I want to get Dole Whip and I just want to fucking chill, rest my feet up. But I want updated animatronics. I just do. But there is something about that clacking sound. Like you can hear it. I know you can hear it right now too.
Yeah, totally. Classic, bro.
It's a lot of fun. And then the idols out front, like it's a lot of fun, and that's another vibe of its own too. Before we head out, I want to talk about one more thing.
Sure.
And I know we kind of already, two more things. Sorry, I know we grazed by it. Innovations.
Oh yeah, the launch bay area.
Yeah, what do you think? Like, do we keep that? Do we get rid of it? Like, what's your thoughts?
Personally, and I might get shit for this, but that building has been redressed and repainted so many times. I'm ready to bulldoze it and put something new in there. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about most of Tomorrowland, to be honest with you. I mean, how many times is Disney going to go in there and redress and repaint the 1960s Tomorrowland? Like, you know, I feel like that building takes up a lot of real estate. It's a big building. And I would bulldoze it, man. And I know there's a lot of like sentimental value to it because it's the Carousel Theater and, you know, with America Sings and all that stuff. I understand that, but I think it's time. It doesn't even rotate anymore. From what I understand, I don't even think it works. Yeah, I think the mechanism doesn't even operate anymore. So it's a relic, and it's basically rotting, sitting there, and it's a huge waste of space. I'd get rid of it. But there is something in there. I think it's the Disney Imagination Institute or something in there that.
Is that kind of like they do at the Epcot?
No, it's like a private thing where like people enroll in it and stuff like that. Our friend Danny from Five Fires was actually talking to me about it when we were at the parks a few months ago. And supposedly, I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but he was kind of telling me that like I guess Disney makes a lot of money on that program or whatever it is, and it's housed
in. Go and have lunch and stuff on top, or like watch the fireworks show from up there.
No, that's like the DVC lounge.
Oh, okay.
This is like some sort of training thing or some sort of like college program thing. I don't really know exactly. And Danny was saying that Disney makes a lot of money on utilizing that space for that. I don't know how, but I guess it's a moneymaker for them. So, I mean, unless they can figure out some other spot to put that, I think we're probably gonna stuck with this building for a long time, which is sad because it's kind of an eyesore and it just sits there and there's nothing in it for like, you know, for guests basically, you know?
So what's your thoughts? Okay. Going back to Marvel, I still think Tomorrowland can totally just be revamped and just made Marvel. What if you make that like kind of like Tony Stark's second home, almost like, you know, how he had his beach house, but you can make that into his home and kind of keep all the. Remember if they had the Tony Stark like his suits and stuff, Iron Man suits in there. Like, what if you kind of did that where you had all of his stuff in there? You kind of walk through still, but it's just themed to Tony Stark's inventions, and that just kind of opens up the rest of the land to go in another Marvel space.
You could do that. You can theme it to Stark Expo.
Yeah, there you
go.
That
would be dope.
Cool. That'd
be right. Cool. A whole showcase of technology.
Dude, and you can still keep that old school vibe. And not only that too, because remember what was it, Captain America, right? That whole was it Captain America where he was running through Stark's it was, right?
I think
the first one?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember. But I mean, I don't know. I just think Tomorrowland, I'm gonna say it again. Tomorrowland just needs to fucking go.
They need to figure something out with it. Because right now it's, you know, and the problem with it is there's a handful of attractions that are still really pulling numbers. So we got like, you know, like Star Tours is still pretty popular. the Buzz Lightyear thing is still popular, and Space Mountain. So Disney is like, I think they see Tomorrowland as like not a priority because, well, it's still packed all the time, you know.
Yeah.
But I want to see the aesthetics come together. I want to see them. I think they really have to go in there and just kind of start bulldozing. But they don't have any incentive to do that because it's still packing. It's still pulling pretty good numbers.
Yeah. And same thing. This brings up the last one. The same thing is with Indiana Jones. Like, I know they keep putting it down, they keep refurbished, but they're doing like the lightest touches of things, and they've been great. These touches have been great. When do you see us getting a new Jeep? Like, that technology is like, that's the one that's fucking everything up. Like, there's so much newer technology, and this is where it gets a little crazy. Do we wait to see how well the Jeeps do in Disney World and Animal Kingdom, or do you think Animal Kingdom's still going to reuse the old Jeeps and everything?
You know what I think? I think they're going to reuse the old Jeeps from Dinosaur.
Damn.
I think they're going to paint. Jeep. Yep, they're going to paint those bad boys, sand them down, age them a little bit. I think that's what they're going to do, bro.
Oh my god, and do you think is that a letdown?
Well, I never really thought about it before, but now that you bring it up, yeah, I mean, it would be kind of nice to have like next gen Jeeps, you know. Right? I never thought about it, but that's a great idea, dude. But
and,
go ahead. Oh yeah, but I don't think they're going to do it, unfortunately.
How many times have you ridden Indiana Jones, you think? Just ballpark it.
Well over 100, easy.
Do you feel like you still get a different ride every single time, like that's promised?
No, I get, the projection mapping is cool. Like, the new stuff is the new stuff, so that's cool. But no, it feels like the same ride to me.
Okay. Back in the day, the Jeeps were different, right? Didn't you get a different ride experience from each Jeep?
Yeah, back in the day, it used to be like you'd go through like a different door.
Yeah.
And it would be like the idol of like Forever Youth or the idol of riches. And so you'd go through the different doors, and they stopped that a long time ago. And now they said, fuck it. They don't do any of the door thing. And now they do projection mapping on it,
Yeah. So I want this ride to stay. Obviously, I think it will, because I mean, it'll be a bitch to fucking remove that fucking thing.
Dude, yeah.
God, that's permanent. If anything that cannot get demolished, it's that ride. Like, it's a mile-long stretch to even get to the fucking ride. Like, what are you guys doing? That's crazy.
100% agree with you. I mean, out of everything that Disney has built in the modern era, like we said Pirates, we said Haunted Mansion, Tiki Room, those are mainstays. The modern era, it's Indy.
Yeah, and that's a fan favorite. I think that's probably one of the biggest fan favorites in that park.
100%.
They need to refurb it again. It needs new cars or new Jeeps. I think everyone would be okay with that. Technology-wise, though, what more can you really do in there? I think that maybe adding. I was talking to Webb about this too. That the ending of the ride where you go through the darts, they shoot at you. I think it'd be kind of cool. That little bit more of an upgrade there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm ready for it to just get a refresh.
Yeah. I'm open to that. I'm open to refreshes. I like that. I like when they're constantly thinking about new ways to make a classic ride even better. That's cool for me, Exactly. So I'm open for all that stuff. And they've been overall, I've liked what they've done with Indy. That one new scene that replaced the rat room.
Yeah.
Where it's like that screen. I mean, it's still a little bit screeny. Like, you can kind of tell it's a screen.
Yeah.
But it replaced an even weaker thing. Like, the rat room was like horrendous, dude. Like, that was so cheap. Like, you could literally see the projector like flickering and shit. Like, it was like so like corny, this looks better.
Do you like the snake part? Like, would you have kept the snake how it is, like projecting at you, or would you have done something different?
See, the snake is kind of weird to me because it's always like it's too big. Like, it's bigger than the Jeep. Like, I never understood that. It's kind of weird, right? Is it like a monster snake that he found?
Well, does it have like? It's just like
the cobra.
Yeah. It doesn't have a cobra head, right? Isn't just a normal ass fucking like snake head?
Does it? I don't remember. I thought it was a cobra. I could be wrong.
So that's is this one of the, what do they call that thing where you think it's one thing and it's not?
Yeah.
What is that called? What's that word? There's a where
cognitive bias or something like that.
Let me look it up. Snake in right. Let's see.
Is it a cobra?
Now I'm curious.
I am too. I thought it was a cobra, but it's just too damn big. It is weird.
Okay, so it is supposed to be an anaconda.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it looked okay. That makes sense because of where you're at.
That
Okay,
makes sense. Okay.
and it does have. Well, no, what the fuck? It's not an anaconda. Why is it saying it? So it says anaconda, but it's totally a fucking cobra.
It
And
has like the little.
it has the wings. Maybe I'm thinking of the one in Japan or wherever it is. That doesn't have the wings.
Okay. Well, whatever Japan did is probably better. I haven't seen that one, but they always make it better. So
Yeah, of course, automatically.
automatically.
So I appreciate it. This was a good one.
Yeah.
I love talking what could, what ifs, and what should be. And this was a very light version of it. I'm pretty sure we'll have some more futures on this.
Oh yeah.
I would love to have you on to talk a little bit about the future expansions too of some of these parks and what you would put in those places. But that'll be on another episode. But yeah, OG, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Absolutely,
Finally got the final boss on. Let them know where they can find you.
Thank you so much, Kennedy. Really good time. And congratulations on the new channel. I love what you do over here. And yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Orange Grove 55, talking parks, studio, and all that good stuff. Orange Grove 55. And you can also find me on Instagram, Orange Grove 55. I do have an X account, but I don't really go on that much anymore. Mostly
You're
Instagram.
on TikTok now too, right?
And I'm on TikTok. On TikTok. Yep. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, on TikTok. And you can find me on TikTok, Orange Grove 55 official. Someone is using Orange Grove 55. I don't know who that.
They're using TheCandidCamperr too, and they have a fucking van, asshole. You know who you are out there. I'll find you.
I'm telling you, man, the TikTokers, they be stealing people's names.
I'm perfect. But you're official. They're not.
I'm official. I added the official at the end. So
yeah,
if you're on TikTok, go ahead and follow me there too.
Perfect. I'm gonna leave all that stuff down in the description below. Guys, follow me, TheCandidCamperr, Theme Park Thoughts. Follow me at TheCandidCamperr on everything but X. I'm mostly on TikTok right now and Instagram, trying to build over there. If you have any questions, if you want to just talk theme parks, just let me know. If you want to come on the channel and just talk for an hour, please. I welcome all guests. Even if you don't agree with anything I say, that makes even a better show. So, so join me, reach out. I appreciate you guys. OG, once again, thank you. Go follow this guy. He's amazing. He's the one that got me into where I'm at. And I'm so grateful and I'm happy to be here. Thank you again, OG.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kennedy.
And remember, always stay to the left.
Yeah, there we go. Absolutely. Actually, real quick before we go, you know what we need to do? You know what we need to do one day on both of our channels? We got to figure out how to do it. I've seen creators do it where you can have call-ins. Like people call. Oh, that'd be sick. Yeah, my Den of Nerds. I don't know if you watch him, but he does like a lot of Marvel and Star Wars content. But he has like his subscribers calling in. He's like assigned like a number, like a phone number, and they call in, and he's shooting the shit with people watching the show. I'm like, this is awesome, dude. We need to get that on our channel.
If y'all know how to do that, leave a comment below, and we'll figure out how to do it. And I'll get you on the phone, dude. That'd be fucking cool.
That'd be amazing, dude.
I'd love that. I'll be like Miss Cleo.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You get a hater in the chat. You be like, hey, you know what? Call the number. Let's talk. Yeah, let's sort it out. Let's talk about it.
Yep. Fuck it. I love it. All right, OG. We'll catch you at another time. People out there, keep watching. Peace.
Peace.